Hare Krishna. So let us start seventh year group elements where I ended from there. So I finished oxides of chlorine. So I'll be starting oxyacids. If you go to fluorine, as fluorine outermost electronic configuration says that it is 2s2 2p5, and in this only one unpaired electron is present. And it doesn't have vacant d orbital at all, right? So because of this, only one unpaired electron is there due to absence of vacant d orbitals, and only one unpaired electron is present. It forms only one oxyacid, that is HOF, whereas chlorine, bromine, iodine, all these are having vacant d orbitals, because of which they can undergo first, second and third excited states. To form different number of unpaired electrons. Therefore, they can form many oxyacids. Like for an example, if we take chlorine, chlorine forms 4 oxyacids. What are those? HClO, HClO2, HClO3, HClO4. Similarly, bromine and iodine also forms 4 oxyacids. Right? So if you go to this, here we shall write the formula of oxyacid, name of oxyacid, oxidation state of chlorine in that, preparation, here structure and hybridization. So first one is what? HClO, which is nothing but what? Hypochlorous acid. Two minus 1 is 1, plus 1 oxidation state. So we have observed in chlorine monoxide that mercurous oxide on reaction with chlorine will get chlorine monoxide. But chlorine monoxide, when we add water, we get hypochlorous acid. So same preparation of chlorine monoxide, Hg2O plus Cl2, just we have to add water. Then we'll get what? 2 moles of mercury chloride plus 2HClO. Like this we can get hypochlorous acid. Now if you go to the structure, chlorine is having 7, out of which one will be OH and all others will be lone pairs. So how many bonds are there? Only one bond. Therefore we need only one unpaired electron, which is there in first ground state itself. So chlorine in ground state, 2s2, 2p5. So it is going to form a sigma bond, but all are going to undergo hybridization. One s orbital, 3p orbitals, sp3, chlorine, OH, lone pair, lone pair, lone pair. So it will have linear shape. Right, beta? Let us go to what? HClO2, which is considered as chlorous acid. So 2 to the 4 minus 1 plus 3. From now onwards, what we shall do is, let us take the potassium or sodium salt of these acids, just react with sulfuric acid. Then you will get corresponding oxyacids. Means NaCl on reaction with sulfuric acid will get sodium sulfate. For that we have to take 2. So Na2SO4 plus 2HClO2. Right, beta? So now chlorine is having 7 electrons, out of which one will be OH. Now match the following: 1 OH, then remaining is 1 oxygen. Lone pair, lone pair. So you need how many unpaired electrons? 3. Therefore chlorine in ground state, we have only 1 unpaired electron. But when it goes to first excited state, we'll get 3 unpaired electrons, out of which forming a pi bond, in which chlorine's d orbital and oxygen's always p orbital. Therefore this pi bond is known as d pi p pi pi bond. And here oxygen is going to form sigma bond, OH is going to form a sigma bond, then we are going to get lone pair and a lone pair, which is again going to undergo sp3 hybridization, wherein chlorine double bond OH, lone pair and a lone pair will get angular shape or V shape. Done. Now let us go to next one. So let us take HClO3, which is chloric acid. 3 to the 6 minus 1 is 5, plus 5 oxidation state. KClO3. Let us take potassium chlorate with sulfuric acid. K2SO4 will be gone. Then we'll get 2HClO3. Chlorine with 7 electrons, 1 OH and 2 double bond O's. So there are 5 unpaired electrons. So to get, in first excited state there were 3 unpaired. So in the second excited state we'll get 5 unpaired. So chlorine in second excited state. Oxygen pi bond. These two are d pi p pi bonds. Whereas this is sigma, this OH is also sigma. There is a lone pair, sp3, with 3 bond pairs and 1 lone pair. We'll get pyramidal shape. Right, beta? Now let us go to one is perchloric acid. HClO4. 4 to the 8 minus 1 is plus 7. In this, take potassium chlorate and react with sulfuric acid. You will get again K2SO4 plus 2HClO4. Or take chlorine heptoxide and add water. You will get 2 moles of HClO4. When you go to structure, 1 OH will be there and 3 oxygens. Total 7 electrons. So to get 7 unpaired electrons, chlorine has to be there in third excited state. So all pi bonds are d bonds. Oxygen sigma, oxygen sigma, oxygen sigma and OH sigma. All will be undergoing sp3 hybridization. OH, double bondo, double bondo, double bondo. Shape is what? Tetrahedral shape. Are you getting this? So this is regarding oxyacids of chlorine. Now let us go to compounds now. These compounds, let us go to fluorine first. Problems faced during the preparation of fluorine. Number 1. As fluorine is highly reactive, it reacts with the container which is made up of either a metal, non-metal or a metal. The problem is, as we have learned in the previous class, that fluorine is highly reactive halogen. Now you see, whenever we prepare fluorine, we have to prepare in an apparatus, and that has to be made either with a metal or a non-metal or a metalloid. But fluorine reacts with all the three of them. And fluorine, after reacting with it, it converts to fluorides. So we cannot get fluorine now. That's the biggest problem. Now second one is, fluorine can be prepared in large quantities from hydrogen fluoride, HF. But aqueous HF is taken Then fluorine reacts with water to form oxygen and ozone. Aqueous लेने से क्या होगा? The fluorine reacts with water because it is highly reactive. We have learned in the reactivity of halogens, first reaction was with water. Fluorine reacts in two ways. 2F2 plus 2O2 gives rise to 2HF plus O2. 3F2 plus 3H2O gives rise to 6HF plus ozone. Now aqueous HF, if we take, fluorine reacts with water. If anhydrous HF is taken, it is bad conductor of electricity. देखो भाई, HF से fluorine can be prepared in large scale, but there can be two types of HF. One is aqueous HF, one is anhydrous HF. If you take aqueous, it is a good conductor, but the problem is fluorine reacts with water. Then we cannot get fluorine. And anhydrous HF, it is a bad conductor of electricity, wherein fluorine do not react with anything, but it is a bad conductor. So through the electrolysis process, we want to prepare fluorine, we cannot do it. Whereas even if we take anhydrous HF, the container in which we are going to prepare or do the electrolysis process, the container will be made up of either a metal or a metalloid or a non-metal. So we cannot get fluorine because it is going to react with them. So these are the problems which scientists faced during the preparation of fluorine. So what is the solution? After decades of research on this, Henry Moissan gave a principle in which he said that the container in which fluorine is going to be prepared must be made up of platinum iridium alloy. As platinum is inert, even iridium is also partially inert. So fluorine won't react with platinum and iridium alloy. But don't forget, platinum is the costliest metal. So when we prepare fluorine in large scale, as platinum is so costly, so the fluorine will be prepared, but it will be too costly for us. Second thing is, as anhydrous HF is bad conductor, by addition of Kf to it in 1:12 ratio, we can convert it into conductor. So if we take HF is to Kf 1:12 ratio, right? So this in this ratio, HF and Kf are taken as an electrolyte. Which is nothing but KHF2, which doesn't have water at all. And third one, in spite of taking these many precautions, so fluorine may react. So to decrease the reactivity, according to kinetics, we know for every 10 degree rise in the temperature, rate of the reaction becomes double. So temperature is at -23 degrees Celsius. So at this temperature, and by taking this as an electrolyte, with this as the container made up of this alloy, Henry Moissan prepared fluorine. Once the fluorine is obtained, then the fluorine, they made it to undergo many properties. Then they came out with many wonderful conclusions. On the basis of that, even the cheaper process of getting fluorine is done by other scientists, among which one of the best preparation is Whitelaw-Grace method. So what happens in this method is that in this graphite is used as anode and copper is used as cathode. Now the question comes, how copper container is used even though fluorine reacts with copper? The answer is yes. Fluorine reacts with copper to form copper to fluoride. Right? Cu plus F2 gives rise to CuF2. But this copper to fluoride forms over the surface of copper. And it won't allow further fluorine to react with copper. So suppose ऐसा कॉपर है, फ्लोरीन रिएक्ट करेगा लेकिन एक लेयर बनाएगा जो इनर्ट होगा, फर्दर फ्लोरीन कॉपर से रिएक्ट करने नहीं देगा फ्लोरीन को. समझ में आया? दैट्स वाई कंपेयर टू प्लैटिनम कॉपर इज चीपर. दैट्स वाई Whitelaw-Gray has used copper by knowing this property that once fluorine reacts with copper, the formed copper to fluoride is inert in nature. The layer will be inert in nature such that fluorine won't further react with copper. Right? If you look at the diagram, first graphite rod is taken, which is used as anode, and it is fixed by using fluorspar stopper, which happens to be an alloy of fluorine, so that it doesn't create any such kind of problem, right? Any problem. So to this, a copper diaphragm is fixed, right? And this is an outlet for fluorine. This is inlet for right, and there is an outlet for hydrogen gas to move. Outlet for H2. Now we are taking electrolyte as, This entire arrangement is kept in a copper vessel whose inside part is coiled. Copper cathode, which is minus, this is plus, inside it is coiled, right? So now this is, from here we are sending HF. This is nothing but KHF2 electrolyte. In this KF remains, HF will be consumed. So HF is going to consume and undergo electrolysis to produce fluorine and hydrogen. Therefore, time to time HF is passed through this inlet, so that the ratio 1:12 is maintained. Right? So let us go to cell reactions. So let us take 2KHF2 gives rise to 2KF plus 2HF. In this, who will undergo? This is for increasing the conductivity of HF. Now this HF undergoes electrolysis. So 2HF, by gaining EMF, it is going to convert as 2H plus 2F minus. Always at anode what takes place? Oxidation to near plus, minus will come. So 2F minus gives rise to F2 gas plus 2 electrons. At cathode, minus reduction takes place. 2H plus, the released electrons will be added to produce H2. That's why at anode fluorine is released, at cathode hydrogen is released. Therefore we have kept two outlets. You see, observe. See, at anode fluorine, at cathode, near cathode hydrogen is released. समझ में आया बेटा? Clear? Now whatever the fluorine gas that is released will consist of HF impurities. माने पूरा HF इलेक्ट्रोलाइज नहीं होगा, थोड़ा बच जाएगा. So that is passed through sodium fluoride pellets. Then this absorbs HF and 100% pure fluorine is passed. Fluorine is produced. How? NaF combines with HF to produce NaHF2. So the fluorine which is produced from the copper diaphragm. So why this diaphragm is used, beta? This diaphragm allows the ions to pass, but not the solutions, the gases to mix, the products obtained to mix. So this F2 and H2 should not mix with each other. If they mix with each other, then we'll get what? 2HF again. So this is copper diaphragm. DIAPHRAGM, used to separate the products H2 and F2 obtained at cathode and anode respectively. समझ में आया बेटा? Like this we can get 100% pure fluorine. Let us go to properties of fluorine. Right? So when we go to properties of fluorine, first number one that we have to do is action with water. As soon as water comes, the logic is O2 and O3. So fluorine reacts in two ways. 2F2 plus 2H2O gives rise to 4HF plus O2. And if you take 3 moles of fluorine, it reacts with 3 moles of water to produce 6HF plus ozone gas. This is how it reacts with water. Second, action with alkali. It's very, very important. We have already learned this, right? In first one, with cold and dilute NaOH. With cold and dilute alkali. Gave 2224. This is for cold and dilute, this is for hot and concentrated. Fluorine on reaction with NaOH. Put 2 and 2. First remove 2 NaF plus remove water H2O. Now remaining is OF2, oxygen difluoride. This is very, very important. And this is with cold and dilute NaOH. Now what you need to do is, let us put 2 like this only, but this will become 4 NaOH because now it is becoming concentrated. So what will be lost? 4 NaF plus 2H2O plus oxygen gas will be released. So the products are OF2 and O2. This is cold and dilute and hot and concentrated NaOH. Third one, action with non-metals. Right? So fluorine is such kind of a halogen. Anyone is there, it tries to convert it into highest oxidation state. That means it makes it become CF4, carbon tetrafluoride. But carbon cannot convert, chlorine cannot convert. Whereas methane with chlorine, it produces carbon tetrachloride. But not this. Only fluorine can convert carbon to carbon tetrafluoride plus 4 oxidation state. Remember. Right? So another one is ethylene C2H4 and treat it with fluorine. It produces polytetrafluoroethene. Polytetrafluoro which is known as Teflon. one of the hardest material or a polymer. So ethene when treated with fluorine, right, we'll get poly tetrafluoroethene. This double bond is shifted so that another can be joined. So when you go to next one, sulfur, it even converts sulfur to +6 oxidation state, highest, sulfur hexafluoride. कार्बन को कार्बन टेट्राफ्लोराइड +4 में, सल्फर को सल्फर हेक्साफ्लोराइड +6 में. So that is the beauty of fluorine. That much highly reactive is fluorine. Next one we have studied with hydrogen. H2 plus F2, even in dark, it is fast to produce 2HF. Right, beta? Now let's go to what? Fourth one and most important are oxidation reactions. Fluorine is the strongest oxidizing agent. Due to number 1, high electron affinity, low bond dissociation enthalpy, high hydration enthalpy. We have studied this, right? So what are the reactions? It converts hydrogen sulfide to SF6. You see the greatness of this. H2S, when you react with fluorine, it converts to SF6. And hydrogens has to be removed in the form of HF. Total 8 fluorines, therefore 4HF, 4F2. So -2 is converted to +6. Note, if the same is treated with chlorine, it can just remove hydrogens to convert -2 to 0 only. Why? Weak oxidizing. Compared with fluorine. Getting my point? Next one is conversion of potassium bisulfate, KHSO4, to potassium persulfate. कैसे? Yeah, removal of hydrogen is also oxidation. So take KHSO4, treat it with fluorine. As you know, there are 2 potassiums, K2S2O8. So put 2. So there are 2 hydrogens, 2 fluorines. 2HF will go. Remaining is K2S2O8. Done. You're getting my point? C. Carbon to CF4. Just now we have done 0 to +4. That is oxidation reaction only. Sulfur to SF6. Zero to +6. And next one is oxidation with ammonia. A. Ammonia with excess fluorine, right, produces 3HF निकाल दो, remaining is NF3. nitrogen trifluoride, explosive nitrogen trifluoride, right? Same NH3, 2 moles reacted with same 3 moles of fluorine. First, what you need to do? Remove 6HF. Remaining is nitrogen gas. So same 2 moles of ammonia but treated with 5 moles of fluorine. We'll get 6HF. First hydrogens, whatever hydrogens are there, those must be removed in the form of HF. Then remaining is N2F4. Dinitrogen tetrafluoride. In this way, in ammonia, nitrogen is -3. Here it is converted into +3. Here as 0. Here +2. 2 to the 4. -4 means +4. For 2, 4. For 1, 2. So this completes fluorine as a compound. Now next compound is chlorine. Right? So if we see chlorine, if we take the preparation, there can be two types of preparations. One is laboratory and another one is industrial. First, let us prepare by laboratory process. In this, take black manganese dioxide treated with concentrated HCl. We'll get manganese chloride and chlorine gas and water. First, to remove oxygen in the form of water, 2 oxygens means 2H2O. Means we need 4 hydrogens, so put 4. Then we'll get what? Manganese chloride and chlorine gas. This is laboratory method. Next one is industrial process. This is known as Nelson's cell process. What we do in this? In this, again, graphite is used as anode. Iron is used. Brine solution. What is brine solution? टकले का पानी. नमक पानी. NaCl plus H2O as an electrolyte. So let us prepare chlorine by Nelson's cell process. In the diagram, take graphite rod again. Put a stopper. And to this, take a U-shaped perforated steel vessel. What do you mean by perforated? माने small hole. छोटा छोटा hole वाले vessel को perforated vessel बोलते हैं. यार इतना बड़ा होल नहीं रहेगा, मैं जस्ट हमारे सुविधा के लिए आई एम पुटिंग होल्स वेरी बिग, बट दीज आर वेरी स्मॉल होल्स. U-shaped perforated steel vessel. In this, inlet for fresh brine. NaCl plus H2O. Outlet for chlorine gas. And in this, but this steel vessel is coated inside with asbestos. वो भूल गया मैं. Asbestos coating to avoid mixing of products formed at cathode and anode. This entire arrangement is kept in an outer tank. Iron is acting as iron tank, right? So to this there will be an outlet for hydrogen gas. And there will be an inlet for steam to enter. Inlet for whom? Steam. This is NaOH and this is NaOH receiver. This is considered to be Nelson cell. कुछ नहीं. Take a U-shaped perforated steel vessel, coat with asbestos and put an inlet. Through that inlet pour brine solution. This is brine solution. And in that dip a graphite rod which is acting as anode, right? And put one in outlet for chlorine gas. This entire arrangement keep it in an outer iron tank which acts as a cathode. Put one outlet for it for hydrogen gas or inlet for steam. So what are the cell reactions? Cell reactions are, first you take brine solution is 2NaCl plus 2H2O. In electrolysis process, I taught this, that 2NaCl gives rise to 2Na plus plus 2Cl minus. 2H2O gives rise to 2H plus plus 2H minus. I said when we take at anode, which is plus, oxidation has to take place. We know whenever there are two cations and two anions and inert electrolyte like graph is there, according to PDPT we have to do it. But the thing is that among chlorine and OH minus, who is having lesser discharge potential? Less charge potential, less dP, but more and more it is taken in excess. Chlorine dP is almost nearer. Then what happens? The chlorine dominates, means 2Cl minus comes, undergoes oxidation to form chlorine gas at anode. Whereas at cathode, in electrolysis, I told in electrochemistry, sodium might be there in excess, but discharge potential is far more than H plus. So H plus undergoes reduction to produce H2. क्या बोलना है? As discharge potential difference between H plus and Na plus are more, the excess Na plus is not going to influence. Now remaining are what? Remaining ions will come through. What and what? 2Na plus 2H minus to form 2NaOH. So sodium hydroxide is formed. So what are the products? NaOH, chlorine, hydrogen. See, hydrogen at cathode, that's why it is coming out from cathode. Chlorine at anode, therefore it is coming out from here. No, there is one wonderful note we have to put. What is that note? If asbestos coating is not there, then products formed at cathode and anode, that is H2, sorry, NaOH and chlorine will react to form sodium hypochlorite, by which obtained chlorine is lost. What is the use of it? हम तो क्लोरीन प्रिपेयर करना चाहते हैं, बट जितना क्लोरीन था तो उड़ गया. NaOH with chlorine, कौन सा? cold and dilute. So we'll get NaCl plus NaClO plus H2O. Sodium chloride, sodium hypochlorite and water. So obtained chlorine is gone. Therefore asbestos coating is must. Remember this better, it's very important for us, right? Now let us go to what? Properties. What happens is, first, action with water. Chlorine on reaction with water produces what? HCl plus HClO. Hydrochloric acid, hypochlorous acid. It is unstable. So converts to HCl plus nascent oxygen. Therefore chlorine plus H2O is 2HCl plus nascent oxygen. This is considered as chlorine water. Because of this nascent oxygen, chlorine water acts as a good oxidizing agent. समझ में आ गया बेटा? Clear? Second one, the next important one is action with alkali. What? With cold and dilute NaOH मैंने साइमल्टेनियसली करके दिखाया था आपको with hot and concentrated NaOH. Just now we wrote for cold and dilute. What? asbestos के केस में क्लोरीन NaCl plus NaClO plus H2O. Sodium hypochlorite, sodium chloride. So 2 sodiums are there, right? Same if you multiply with 3, we'll get 3 chlorines, 6 NaOH. And I said there should be 5 NaCl plus, मैंने क्या बोला, 3 इधर आना चाहिए, NaClO3, और 3 इधर भी आना चाहिए, 3H2O. Sodium chlorate and sodium chloride. You're getting my point? So like this we'll get disproportionation reactions. 0, -1, +5. 0, -1, +1. Disproportionation. Right? This is with alkali. Now let us go to what? Action with non-metals. What? A. With sulfur. It reacts with sulfur to form sulfur monochloride or S2Cl2. Sulfur with chlorine. 2S plus Cl2 gives rise to S2Cl2. Or sulfur exists in the form of what? S8 with chlorine has to give S2Cl2. Right? So so there are 8 sulfurs, right? Here 8. Put 2. Put 8. 8 2s are 16. 8 2s are 16. Right? Or else we can do one thing. If we put 4, because 8 is there, 4 2s are 8, 4 2s are 8. This is also done. Right? Sulfur monochloride is formed. देखो यार, ऑक्सीडेशन में भी बता सकते हैं. 0 को 2 2s are 2 1s are -2, then +2 for 2 2 for 1 1. जस्ट 0 को +1 बना पा रहा है सल्फर को. वेराज फ्लोरीन ने क्या किया? SF6 बना दिया +6. Next, let us go to B. B is action with another way. A में first one, second one. Sulfur with excess chlorine, we can get maximum sulfur tetrachloride, which is +4. +6 नहीं आएगा. Sulfur tetrachloride. Right, beta? So let us go to B with methane. Excess. We'll get carbon tetrachloroCl. Is it clear, beta? Next one. When we react with phosphorus, chlorine, we'll get PCl3 if we take excess. There are 4 phosphorus because phosphorus exists in P4 tetraatomic. 4 3s are 12. Take 6. Same chlorine, if it is taken more, it will form phosphorus pentachloride. Again 4 5s are 20. 10. If PCl3 is taken, if it is treated with chlorine, it forms PCl5. If sulfur is taken, treated with chlorine, it forms an addition product called SO2Cl2, sulfuryl chloride. So it is one of the most important halogen. Let's go to oxidation reactions. In this, as I told, it converts H2S to just sulfur only, whereas fluorine converted H2S to SF6. So it is just oxidizing sulfur -2 in H2S to sulfur 0. So take H2S, react with chlorine so that it produces 2HCl plus sulfur. Second is converts ferrous chloride to ferric chloride. Take ferrous chloride FeCl2, treat it with chlorine to produce ferric chloride. So take 2 moles and 2 moles. So this is ferrous chloride, this is ferric chloride. So +2 is converted to +3, right? Third one is it converts sodium sulfite to sodium sulfate. But now here Na2SO3 should be treated with chlorine water, not chlorine. This is chlorine water wherein 2HCl is gone and one nascent oxygen is added, such that Na2SO4 is formed plus 2HCl. But same chlorine water oxidizes sodium thiosulfate to sodium sulfate. In sodium thiosulfate, 3 to the 6 minus 2 4 for 2 plus 2, 4 to the 8 minus 2 6. So take Na2S2O3, treat it with chlorine water. It loses 2HCl, oxygen is added, one sulfur is removed. We'll get Na2SO4 plus 1 sulfur plus 2HCl. See, 2HCl is removed, oxygen is added, sulfur is removed. Are you getting my point better? So these are very, very important oxidizing reactions. So converting +2 to +6. It's a disproportionation reaction wherein +2 is converted to +6 as well as 0 also. Right? So this is the most important reactions of chlorine oxidation reactions. There are plenty, but these are the most important. Now the last compound of this chapter is bleaching powder. CaOCl2. What to do? Preparation. Let us do preparation. What we have to do is, what is the speciality of bleaching powder? Do you know? I taught in 11th class that in this CaOCl, this is -1 but this is +1. the compound of chlorine in which same chlorine exhibits positive and negative oxidation state is bleaching powder. So in this, calcium hydroxide is treated with chlorine gas to form, first remove water and remaining you write CaOCl2 is bleaching powder. This is the preparation, right? If you go for the properties, action of heat, when bleaching powder is heated by exposing in air, it produces available chlorine. क्या है ये पढ़ेंगे बेटा अब. हाँ देखो बेटा, CaOCl2 gives rise to heat करो in presence of air. Calcium chloride, calcium chlorate and chlorine gas. Right? How to balance this? It is similar to that of ना hot and concentrated NaOH के साथ किया था ना हमने. जैसे यहाँ 6 ले लो, ये 5 आएगा, ये CaClO3 एंड क्लोरीन आएगा. अब बैलेंस करेंगे. 6 2 12, 5 2 10. ये अवेलेबल क्लोरीन कहाँ से एक्सेस आ रहा है हम देखेंगे बेटा. ओके, सो फर्स्ट व्हाट इज अवेलेबल क्लोरीन? The chlorine which is obtained by treating bleaching powder with insufficient sulfuric acid or carbon dioxide is known as available chlorine. सर ये क्या बोल रहे हैं आप? मेरा बोलने का मतलब है जो क्लोरीन ये जो निकल रहा है ना, ये क्लोरीन कहाँ से आता है? एक्चुअली ब्लीचिंग पाउडर को जब इनसफिशिएंट सल्फ्यूरिक एसिड से या कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड से ट्रीट करते वक्त जब क्लोरीन निकलता है ना, उसी को अवेलेबल क्लोरीन बोलते हैं. वो ब्लीचिंग पाउडर का प्यूरिटी बताता है, जितना क्लोरीन यहाँ निकलता है उसका प्यूरिटी बताता है. दिस अवेलेबल क्लोरीन एक्सप्लेन्स द प्यूरिटी ऑफ ब्लीचिंग पाउडर. Right? So let us see what is that insufficient action with insufficient sulfuric acid. Sufficient और insufficient में क्या difference है? Sufficient means 1:1 ratio में रहेगा. Insufficient means bleaching powder ज़्यादा रहेगा, sulfuric acid कम रहेगा. 2 moles, 1 mole. What you need to do is first remove it. Remove calcium chloride, then remove water. No, बेटा insufficient नहीं है, sufficient से आएगा. देन बिकॉज यहाँ 4 क्लोरीन है, ये 2 HCl भी जाएगा. देन जो बचेगा नेसेंट ऑक्सीजन्स, कैल्शियम सल्फेट प्लस कैल्शियम क्लोर प्लस 2 nascent oxygen. Due to this, even bleaching powder is also acts as an oxidizing agent. समझ में आया ना बेटा? कैल्शियम सल्फेट निकालना है, कैल्शियम क्लोराइड निकालना है, 2 HCl निकालना है और नेसेंट ऑक्सीजन. सफिशिएंट सल्फ्यूरिक एसिड लेंगे तो क्या होगा? ब्लीचिंग पाउडर विथ H2SO4. व्हाट विल गेट? कैल्शियम सल्फेट आएगा, H2 हो जाएगा. अवेलेबल क्लोरीन तो आना है हमको. CaSO4 plus H2O plus chlorine. This is known as even when you react with side CaOCl2 with carbon dioxide, it produces CaCO3 plus chlorine gas. What is this? Available chlorine. And the greatness of this bleaching powder is, fifth point, it acts as a bleaching agent. क्या करेगा? एनी कलर्ड सब्सटेंस को, ये जो नेसेंट ऑक्सीजन्स प्रोड्यूस हो रहा है ना, ऑक्सीडेशन करके कलरलेस सब्सटेंस, कलर टू कलरलेस is known as bleaching. As bleaching is oxidative bleaching, it's a permanent bleaching. अगर सल्फर डाइऑक्साइड के जैसा रिडक्टिव ब्लीचिंग रहेगा ना, रिडक्टिव रहा, जैसे एक्सपोज किया एटमॉस्फेयर एयर को, ऑक्सीजन ले लेगा, ऑक्सीडाइज करके कलरलेस फिर से कलर्ड बनेगा. सो ये कलरलेस, कलर्ड टू COLOURED, colored substance to colorless substance due to release of these nascent oxygens. समझ में आया बेटा? So that's why we call it as bleaching powder, which can bleach permanently the colored substances to colorless substances. So that's very, very important beta. So this finishes off our 7th A group elements. So we have completed bond energy, right? Coulson's explanation, Mulliken's explanation, then Born-Haber cycle, why fluorine is strong oxidizing agent in spite of having less electron affinity. Then we went to hydrides also, reactivity also. Then we went to oxides of chlorine, hydrides of halogens, right? Then oxyacids of chlorine, then fluorine, then chlorine, then bleaching powder, preparations and properties. So this finishes off our 7th E group elements. After this, I am going to start what? 6th A group elements in the next class. So next advanced class also I am going to take 6th group because it is the biggest group. Inorganic chemistry का सबसे biggest group is 6th A group elements. So it requires a lot of time. So I have to finish off that, right? So 6th A group, I'll be finishing half of it next advanced class. Then I'll be getting 2 Sundays in organic. So advanced class and Sunday classes. So I will be finishing off 6th A group and 5th A group, and then I'll be starting fourth, third and first and second group. Like this I'll be finishing entire inorganic. Please, as I'm finishing the chapters along with me, you also finish writing and practicing better, right? So please don't delay, don't postpone it. Thank you so much. Hope you have understood it, right? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Jagannath. Thank you so much beta. Bye beta. Thank you.